a really, really nice technology, really good initiative, and it's a very welcoming open source community. And we came together and to evolve the best breed programming model for doing Java-based microservices. So my involvement is kind of cover a great range, and I'm still leading. I led the first first microprofile specifications called microprofile config to evolve the process and together with the technology, make sure it's a very easy to use and powerful. And we got really good feedback. And then I came up with another project. It's called microprofile for tolerance. I'm still leading that community. And then later on, because when the Istio was announced, and it's a great like a service mesh model, so we really want microprofile to work well with Istio service mesh architecture. So I came up with another proposal called microprofile service mesh specification. So the work group I'm leading and is working demonstrate how to make sure how to demonstrate microprofile in the service mesh model. And so far, we create the sample app and demonstrated a microprofile worked really well with the Istio service mesh architecture, and also is demonstration is kind of overcome some drawbacks in Istio, such as when Istio trying to make sure the microservices correlation invocation, when microservice A call B and call C, and you still saying, oh, in the application you need to propagate the correlation ID, microprofile did that auto box. So this is really complementary to each other, and so that's why it's later last year, I created a blog. It's called Istio's programming model microprofile. Is received a really positive feedback.
Cool. So you mentioned the blog. If can people get involved, or I mean, what do you are you looking for contributors or what's
Yeah, always. Actually, as I mentioned earlier, microprofile is a very welcoming community. We always trying to get more people involved. So if anybody is interested in any specifications such as config for tolerance, health check, and also the new one microprofile service mesh, directly they can go to the GitHub and the microprofile dash and go to the individual specifications this and join the Git discussion. And then we have a weekly hangout. So they can directly get involved and even do the PR or comment, and any sort of feedback is a great, welcome.
cool? Okay, and then you have a presentation here, or no? It was a hands-on lab.
Yeah, hands-on lab.
Okay.
Yesterday.
Okay. So it's a cloud native Java with microprofile, Kubernetes, and Istio.
Yes.
Okay. So that's a great mix of technologies. So, and you mentioned, so you covered what are the unique challenges? So can you talk about what you covered in the
so lab? I did this app together with Sebastian Dachner. So we demonstrated IBM Cloud and also is create the Kubernetes cluster and install the latest Istio. And then we demonstrated you create your cloud native application using microprofile and just add a few lines like a microprofile APIs, and then you automatically be able to tell the Kubernetes and whether the health status of the application. And also you can directly inject the configuration from Kubernetes config map into your application. And then once you change that, in the Kubernetes config map, you don't need to change any of your application, and the change directly reflected in your application. So this is what I call it written once, config everywhere. So you don't need to unpackage your application. You don't need to do anything with your application. And in the different environment, if you feel free to configure it differently, it will react differently. And also is we demonstrated the microprofile config, microprofile fault tolerance, and also health check and metrics works really well in the Istio architecture.
I see. And it's so microprofile you can deploy it on any platforms, right?
Yeah, microprofile is a programming model. Actually, is at the moment there's quite a lot implementations to choose from. In IBM, we have Open Liberty, WebSphere Liberty, and also is Red Hat has Songtail, and Payara has Payara Macro. Tommy have Tom Tribe has Tommy, and Oracle recently has a Halliday MP and directly implemented that. And also there's some other implementations as well. So great, a variety to choose from. And the beauty is most of them are open source project. So basically, once you use microprofile, you rest assured you have many choices to choose from. You are not tied to any particular open source projects.
So you could switch from one microprofile to the next.
Yeah,
basically.
exactly. And then you can deploy to any cloud. You can deploy to IBM Cloud, Google Cloud, Oracle Cloud. Yeah, so Amazon. So these all behave the same. This is what we say. This is a great future for the cloud native applications. So all the kind of that is very flexible. You're not tied to any particular offer.
So based on your experience, what kind of challenges that you see people face when they think about microprofile? Or
yeah, so I see that some challenges is people some people already started using microprofile. They had a great experience and etc. I feel like some people is still hesitate and for the adapt new technologies. So one message I really want to pass is this generation is the moving generation now, innovative generation. You got to open mind and try the new technologies. You have to try and see yourself. So I really want to get more people involved and more people to try it, and then you can learn from your own experience, and then you tell yourself whether it's something is really good or not.
so, what are some of the I would say developers who could use microprofile, but that they are not today? So, what kind of use cases would you want them to think about?
Yeah, so it's I want the people to think about is think about what's your daily job, what's your company paying you for. So I think is for the companies, developers should concentrate on writing business logics. They shouldn't worry too much about quality of services. It should have a clear boundary. Actually, you do not want to do everything together. So you want to have a clear cut. Okay, this is business logic. So I spend more time make sure it's working, and the other quality of service how to make sure your application is bulletproof, and then how to make sure add more trees and etc. Try to explore what existing, and do not reinvent the wheels, because application server nowadays has a great offering. You can directly call the APIs instead of spend many days, many weeks, and trying to reinvent the wheel, and trying to get some other third-party libraries packaged into your application and build a bloated application. You should stay lean, and then you will be less bug.
So, the micro profile is do you think like people who are using monolithic applications right now and maybe thinking about moving to micro profiles or microservices? This is all micro, so maybe they could consider
Yes.
micro profiles, for example, as an alternative to what they're doing.
Yeah, exactly. So if anybody still doing a monolith and thinking about moving towards microservices, they should look at micro profile seriously, and then it's kind of they can simplify their application and only a few annotations to put together with their business logic, and then there's a really clear boundary on what the business logic is, what is the quality of service is, and then it's like they should spend less time to worry about the quality service. Let application server to handle that.
Okay, great. Any other things that you want to talk about? So Kubernetes and Istio, is that technologies that you think I mean could are essential with microprofiles as well?
Yeah, I want to put in the I mean context. I want to put a macro profile in the context of Kubernetes Istio. I want to stress macro profile is the really good programming model for doing a macro cloud native applications. And Kubernetes obviously is very popular. Is a lot of people moving, a lot of companies moving towards Kubernetes. It's great technology. And again, Istio is something I think it has great future. And anybody who consider about cloud, and they should consider about Istio. And I want to say is if you consider this Kubernetes and Istio, you should definitely think seriously about microprofile, which should be the programming model because it work really nicely together. The great ecosystem.
Excellent. So, um, where can people find out more about microprofile? What to
Oh
say?
yeah, it's microprofile.io has everything, and also is actually is this is we working on the microprofile starter. So we are going to announce another tool is for developers to directly create microprofile applications. It will be a start.microprofile.io. Watch the space, and hopefully we are going to announce it very soon. Uh, yeah, at the moment actually it's these 2 days, and also in the last few weeks I have been working very closely with the team trying to launch the tool.
Great. So we're really looking forward to that. Thank you
I'm
so
so
much.
excited. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Emily.
Yeah, thank you,
Thank you for
Yolanda. Thank you.